You're listening to the WBT Podcast with Michael Lodge. Listen to all of our podcasts at www.wbtpod.com. Stay informed. Let's get started.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.
And welcome to the WBT. This is Michael Lodge. I'm glad that you've joined me. It's a rainy, cold day here in South Carolina. I understand in my office it's about 80 degrees over there in Burbank, California, but I'm here in South Carolina. The leaves are changing to bright reds and yellows. I'm seeing the change of fall, and I like it. I wanted to talk to you a little bit. I'm not going to spend too much time today, but I wanted to talk to you about compliance. If you own a business and you go out of compliance either with your taxes or with your filing status of your business as a corporation, LLC, S-Corp, whatever you are, it can cost you a lot of money if you do not remain in compliance, which means that you have to be on it all the time. Don't depend on other people to think about it for you. Make sure that it's on your calendar. Make sure that if you need to file your statement of information for the state of California or other states that they require every year, once a year, just to keep your businesses licensed and in compliance with the Secretary of State rules of operating as a entity, do it. I tell you, in California, let me tell you as an example. In California, you can go right online and you can file your statement of information with the Secretary of State. They send you a little card every year notifying you when it's due. And a lot of you just throw that card away and do not even pay attention to it. But if you go online, it's $25 to file your statement of information. It takes like 10 minutes. Very, very fast. However, if you do not file on time, that $25 turns into $250, and it keeps growing, and pretty soon, if you do not pay it, you will be suspended, which means you are not operating legally or lawfully in the state of California or any other state that you haven't filed your statement of information. Nevada, you have to go in every year, and it costs a lot of money. I mean, as an example, in California, to maintain your Secretary of State status, you have to pay that $800 fee. No matter if you made any money or not, you still have to pay that $800 fee. In Nevada, it's almost $900. So you have to continually be on top of it, or you will owe a lot, or you will be suspended as a business. Same thing on your taxation, on your taxes. If you don't file on time and if you owe money, and there are new laws the IRS has come out on prepaying those taxes, if you owe money at the end of the year, it's going to cost you a pretty penny in penalties and interest. So I want you to know that either hire somebody or put it on your calendar or do something so that you remain in compliance with all federal and state laws and also requirements in keeping your business in good standing with the Secretary of State. It doesn't take that long, but if you don't have time to do it and if you forget to do it, turn it over to your accountant or your attorney. So make sure that you get that in status and that you are in compliance at all times. Otherwise, it becomes very costly to you. Also, Tuesday, is Political Tuesday. And that's when we all go to the polls and we vote. It's vital that you go and vote, because your voice and your vote counts in choosing the direction that this nation should go. So depending on which party you're with, it doesn't mean that you have to vote party lines. Vote your conscience. Vote what you feel is best for the nation. Remember, if you vote straight party line and if you do not think about the choices you're making, then you have either put the country into greater issues and nothing's going to get done, or we continue with the path that we're on at the moment. I was so happy today because unemployment, they added 250,000 jobs. I mean, that is dynamic for the United States. And it's important that we continue to create jobs. Now, I'm going to tell you my political philosophy here, but what I think will happen if the Democrats take over the Congress this election. We have to look very carefully at two words, and it's called consumer confidence. If you and I do not feel confident about the economic direction that this country is going, we hold back on our spending because we're not quite sure what's going to happen. I used to sit in Chamber of Commerce meetings in Los Angeles and also in Orlando, Florida. And the common thread of discussion was through the 8 years of the Obama administration, because businesses and myself including, we didn't know in which direction the president was going to go next. We didn't know which direction Obama was going to do. What he was going to do with policy, what he was going to do with regulation, and on higher taxes. We didn't know because there really was no economic plan out of Obama at that time. So the common phrase that was used in all these meetings when all of us businesses got together and talked about this stuff is that business was on pause. And it remained on pause for 8 years because of the wanting of raising our taxes, on bad trade policies, on not inviting companies back into the United States, not creating jobs. So business was on pause. So what I feel, and so consumer confidence at that time was very low. No one was buying anything. No TVs were purchased. No new cars were being bought. Nothing like that was being done. Consumer confidence are the two key words of what will happen if the Democrats take over the Congress, because we don't know what chaos they're going to create. And the issue is, we already know that they want to raise taxes. They want to do away with the tax cuts that you were already given. That's going to go away. They want that to go away. We have to be very wise about this, though, because for a bill to get passed, what does it have to do? It has to go over to the Senate, and they have to vote on it. Do you think the Republican Senate is going to vote for higher taxes? It's not going to happen. Do you think the president will sign a bill with higher taxes and eliminates all the tax cuts he did? Veto. That's one good thing about this thing, is that the Congress, if it's under the Democrats, are going to be in limbo. They can't get anything done. So why do we want to continue on with chaos when we already have a good structure in there where good bills are being passed, economic economic bills are being pushed through the Congress and onto the Senate and onto the president's desk? But if the American people feel a little bit jittery, consumer confidence goes down. So the buying of goods and services go down, which means that jobs become eliminated. That is the biggest issue that we have in this campaign. The other issue that we have, of course, is immigration. It seems as though that the Democrats do not want to sit down and address this immigration problem. They yelled about it. Remember that over the last 3 years, they have yelled and yelled and yelled about immigration reform, but they never did anything to sit down and solve the situation. So we have a problem here, and I'm not telling you how to vote, okay? I'm not telling you how to vote at all because you guys have your own political views out there. But I'm telling you how I see it as an economic issue for the American people. So I feel if consumer confidence gets ticked off, so will the economic growth of this country. If Americans feel that the Democrats are going to do something stupid to hurt them, they're going to hold back on spending. They're not going to do the investments that they used to do. The money is going to sit there in the banks like it has for the last 8 years because Americans don't know, so they're going to put everything in pause again. And we don't want that to happen because that affects us all. So what I'm basically trying to tell you is that the economic situation in this country may be paused a little bit if the Democrats gain control. Now, the president is working on trade deals, so he's working all that stuff out. He's working on everything that he needs to be working on. Quite frankly, when you enter into a contract with a business, do you keep that contract for years and years and years? No. There are times where you have to go back and review that contract and revise it and make it a better contract for you. And that's what the president is trying to do and trying to get through to politicians is that just because we have a treaty doesn't mean that it's a good treaty for right now because times have changed. Technology has changed. Business practices have changed. Banking has changed. Foreign currencies have changed. So we need a new trade agreement in place to replace the old one that was signed 20 years ago. In business, that's what you do. You are smart in your contract negotiations. And you revise those contracts year upon year. So don't think that this treaty sanctions and renegotiation is bad because it is something that if you are a smart business person and if you are a smart politician, you review from time to time and you make it better. So that is my view on what's going to happen with the economy. The president's going to continue on doing his thing, but if you and I get skittish over what the Democrats are going to do when they gain power, then we have a big issue. You and I have a big issue. And so that is what we have to be thinking about when we are casting our vote on Tuesday. The people that are going to be representing you in Washington, D.C., are they for you or are they for their political power in their party? If they're not for you, don't vote for them. If they haven't come up with any new ideas and they're just going on party spin, don't vote for them. But if they're working for you and if they're reducing your taxes and if they're reducing regulations and everything else that needs to happen, government cannot be in control of us all the time. Then those are the individuals that you need to be voting for. The proactive people, the people that are working, the people that are thinking outside the box, the people that are willing to take the risk on the people of the United States and work hard for them. So that is my lecture for the day. So we've talked about compliance, remain in compliance, or it's going to cost you. And we talked about November 6th that you need to get out there and vote, and you need to vote with your heart. Forget all the hate that you have been hearing and has been pounded upon you day after day from the media and from politicians. Put all that to the side. Focus on the real issues of what America needs to happen. We added 250,000 more jobs. We can add more and more jobs, and more people can be employed. That's where America needs to be. everybody go out and vote on November 6th. I look forward to talking to you and see what happens and see what all the politicians and the media and all the projections, let's see how wrong they are. This is Mike Lodge. I'll talk with you soon.
Thank you for listening to the WBT with Michael Lodge. Join us again tomorrow as we explore more about business and taxes. Follow us on iHeartRadio and go to our podcast website at www.wbtpod.com and listen to all of our podcasts and read our blogs.
World of Business and Taxes on WBT.
This is brought to you by Lodge & Co., a business and tax advisory firm where your success is our goal. Call us today toll-free at 888-681-1518 or visit us at www.lodge-co.com and learn more about what we can do for you. Lodge & Co., your source for sound business and tax services.